It's being sent to the YouTube. Okay, we are live on uh, YouTube. Welcome to my YouTube channel, English Lovers by Honeydee. Guys, today we are going to do another chapter on grammar, which is one of the part of your learning, and we will move further with other chapters as well. As we will move forward, we will get to know lots of stuff about not only grammar but also how to improve your English vocabulary, and especially the vocabulary which is related to your IELTS examination. People who really want to get good score in IELTS, they're all welcome to actually contact me through my YouTube channel. They can comment in, and then they can come in contact with me. Alongside, if they want to personally contact me, my WhatsApp number is always on the card. So once you are going to send me the comment, then we can have an arrangement to send you my WhatsApp number, like whatever number that I'm gonna send you. Then we can share the information related to the content that we're gonna share between each other. So, fact of the matter is now the thing's gonna be little tricky for the people who are actually preparing their IELTS examination and who really want to get the work permit as well later on after their studies are complete. So, or even like whatever score they require. I think 7 bands, what I heard like recently. So, whatsoever is the news, like I'm ready to help you out in that scenario as well. But you have to tell me beforehand. And in case I'm gonna be busy, then I'm gonna provide you some videos which can really help you out to actually improve your score in not more than 15 days. I prefer people not to waste time on actually preparing that much on the grammar portion at that particular time when they're preparing for the IELTS examination, because you have to be already ready with some videos, or you must be actually getting to know about English stuff when you are actually working in the English scenario in Canada or anywhere else as well. So without wasting time, let's pursue our today's lesson, that is on preposition, I guess. So let me share the screen with you and we're gonna move to our learning part. Give me some time, give me few seconds, few minutes. Let me just yeah, open this up. Yeah, so the book that we are working on is our Ultimate English Speaking course, and in that one we had reached to certain point where we had learned four different important elements of the grammar, the parts of speech, I would say. We have learned those. Then, like one of them is the noun, another one is the verb. Then, just a second. Then we have gotten to know about adjective. We got to know about adverbs. We got to know about the pronouns as well as yeah. We have reached up to the pronouns, and I gave you one exercise as well. I hope that you have done your exercise by just clicking up the screenshot, and then I gave you some time to actually take the picture. So I hope that you have taken the picture. If not, then you can actually just watch the video and get to know about the concepts related to. Like these are the basic concepts. I know that lots of people won't, um, you know, won't like to actually waste time on them. But I would definitely suggest you whenever, even in any game or any sports, when we talk about cricket, for example, when the basics are right, you are playing right. If your technique is good, then you are playing well. But if your basics are not strong, definitely you're gonna be playing somehow lofty shots. You're gonna play some shots which are not in control, out of control. So in that scenario, you can actually, mm, get out also. So same way is with your studies. If you will stick to the basics, if you will work on or practice on the basic skills, then definitely um, it will improve your higher discourse, like reading skills, listening skills. and every other stuff that's related to the study. So, without wasting time, let's move on to the concepts of the preposition. Why preposition? Because preposition is important. Preposition is important since we should know the difference between the preposition and the adverb. What is exactly the preposition? We should know that the way we did pronoun, that is pronoun, it is preposition. So the word pre, we know that pre, after, or something like pre, before, something related to before. So let me tell you that pre means something which is before, and position means something which is just a second. Let me take the annotator on. Yeah. So what is preposition? Preposition is something like something is positioned somewhere, but where it is positioned generally before. It's not always, but generally it is placed before. Preposition is generally placed before something, where it is placed before. Like in a sentence, whenever we write some, like for example, we want to add some information to the given statement. If I say, he went to the market, he went to the market, he went where, he went to the market, um, um, in the eh, in the VRs, or in the what we say that in the evening, for example, if I say he went to the market in the evening, he went to the market in the evening. We got two prepositions here. Uh, Positions, sorry, in the evening I had to write, sorry. So we had to write that he went to the market in the evening. We know that to and in, like basically by our senses, we can get to know. But the people who are the beginners, who do not know anything about the prepositions, then they cannot recognize where the preposition is written. They can tell that what is he, what does it mean. They can tell what is the meaning of went. Went is related to go, but they cannot tell that why it is like that. So on the level of those people, and if we go to their level, then definitely we have to explain about like what exactly preposition is. So whenever a sentence is written, so there are some words which are not actually those lexical words, those like for example, if we say noun, pronoun, sorry, noun, adjective, adverb, or verb. So those lexical words are very important to be known because we have to interchange them. But when it comes to the preposition, preposition is also important because we should know, because it sets up a relation between things which are lexical. So which are important, like it sets up the relation between the noun we talk about, because a noun acts as a subject in the sentence. What is a subject? Subject is the doer of action in the sentence. Okay, and we know that doer is always a noun or a pronoun. It can be a noun or a pronoun. Somebody who is in the form of the noun or in the form of the pronoun can be the subject of ours. Then to set up a relation between the noun and the pronoun and other words in the sentence, we require some kind of building blocks. It's not conjunction. I am not saying that these are conjunctions, because conjunctions means the junctions between con means two. Like when there are two things which are being junctioned together, then it becomes conjunction. So at the same time, which have the similar value or similar a kind of just a second. Let's fix it up. Yeah. So which have the similar value or the similar what we say that. Mm. Similar attributes. So then when we say them, then we use conjunction. Conjunction is another stuff. Yeah, that's also important. That is also required to join up two sentences, two words, two statements, or like whatsoever. But preposition is very important because it builds up a relationship between the noun and the pronoun and other words in the sentence. Like we usually, it is usually placed before a noun or a pronoun. Usually, that means usually stands for um, not always. Usually means it's always in the big, like it will come before, and then thereafter there will be a noun or a pronoun written in a sentence. We'll see through the example as well. But what I mean to say is we have to know the definition, as I mentioned before as well with the other concepts of the grammar. I told you that the the concepts to be learned are through the definitions. When you know the definition, when you know that how they are originated, where they came from, then you'll easily get to know about them. The preposition is a very beautiful concept because it makes a meaning clear. It makes a relationship clear between the noun and the pronoun and the other words in the sentence. Like there would be different other words, there would be verbs, there would be helping verb, and all rest of the sentence. So um, that relation will be built up by the preposition. Preposition is that important. So whenever we are using the prepositions, like there is a chart here given for the prepositions, we they will have their certain meaning. Meaning is a separate thing. We are not talking about the meaning right now. What does this stand for? What does it mean? And where we use them? We are not talking about that. We are talking about what exactly preposition means. So when we know about what exactly preposition means, then we can simply signify that one, that we know the definition, and in a sentence if something is written, we can actually define it, and we can tell that what's the difference between the preposition and the other words. Like the way the definitions are, like what's the difference between the noun and the preposition, what's the difference between the pronoun and the preposition, or what's the difference between preposition and the adverb. Basically that is getting confused in between. Like prepositions are most of the time get confused with the like adverbs. Like for example, I'll give you one simple example, that is when I say come in. Okay, I told him to come in. Okay. Now I told you that usually the preposition is placed before the noun or the pronoun, but there is no noun or the pronoun after this one. In this case, it tells us about where somebody is coming. So when we are getting of when, where, how, and why, and to what extent, I told you in the previous lesson that when we getting the answer for when, where, how, why, and like to what extent, then we are getting adverb over there. Like adverb is something which qualifies a verb, adjective, another adverb. We discussed about that. So people who do not know about that, they can go for the previous lesson, and then they can actually enhance that particular concept, and then they can come to this particular one. So now what I mean to say is if I say come in, or if I say come in the class, there is difference. Okay. When I say come in, or come in the class, so we know that there is something written after in. So in this case, in this scenario, in will become your what we say preposition, because it is usually placed before a noun or a pronoun. So that is the noun. Class is the noun here. But when the noun is missing, when the noun is missing, it will become adverb. It will give us direction. You are told to come in. Come in means that you are told to come in a direction, in a certain direction. Where to come? Like you have to come in. In means like in a direction. So when we are getting to know about that, then in that case, the in the same word, people will consider that in will always be a preposition. It is not the truth. So the words can be used as adverb. Words can be used as preposition depending upon the placement of them. So if their placement is right, then definitely the things will be like that. So just a second. Now that's the commonly used prepositions: about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around, as, at, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, by, despite, down, during, except, far from, not, in, inside, into, like, near, for, off, and then double time, then on, onto, out, outside, over, since, through, throughout, to, towards, under, underneath, until, up, upon, within, with, within, without. So these are the basic prepositions that you are going to work on, and you can bring the questions for. Let me tell you that I had already done a live session for the preposition earlier as well, but It was 1 year earlier when I did it for my students, like who were preparing for their final examinations, board examinations, so that they may know that where the prepositions are to be used and which preposition is to be placed where. So to know about that, then you should know about like the placement, like the kind of the prepositions. I told you earlier as well, like we define classes of any of the concept, we define classes of any of the stuff in the world to just simplify our knowledge, to get to know about them in classification method. Like it is the way to remember things. If we classify more, then we will remember more. Same with the prepositions can fall in the same category, that the prepositions can be remembered for a long time by different methods, by the classification or by making a story. So you can remember that in the story form as well. Like if the preposition is of the preposition of place, preposition of some other stuff. So we'll talk about that later on. But what I'm trying to tell you is the preposition as a word has a definition. You should remember that preposition is a word which shows up the relationship between the noun and the pronoun and the other words in the sentence. So we have to keep it in mind. But that's cramming stuff. I'm telling you to understand that one accordingly. If the word is written, if the statement is written, there was a certain serial, or what we say then, there was a telecasted program in my childhood I used to watch. There used to be a there used to be a paper in the kind of the signpost, like the candidates who used to play that game, they used to read that one accordingly, that direction. And same thing is in the Splitsvilla, like people who watch the MTV and they can get to know about that. Like there used to be a paper, that paper speaks something and then they follow the direction. Same thing is with the definitions, like whatsoever definition is there, that we have to follow that definition and go into the direction of the meaning of a word. Like if I say preposition, preposition has a definition, preposition's definition is never going to be changed. It will be the same. But if we'll alter that accordingly to remember it for a long time, that's up to us. But basic meaning of the prepositions will never ever get changed. It will never ever get altered in any possible way. So meaning of the preposition, meaning of the concept of the preposition has to be clear to you, let me tell you. Um, so preposition begins a prepositional phrase. It means to say that whenever we are using a preposition, whatever rest of the statement is left, that becomes a prepositional phrase. If I say, I use the statement in the beginning itself, he went to the market in the evening. So whatever words are written after in the like the evening is evening. The evening is written after in, then this evening will be a phrase which will be related to the preposition. The head word is a preposition, so it will become a prepositional phrase. What is a phrase? Phrase is a group of words that doesn't make complete sense. So that's how the basic definitions you should remember, that what is phrase, what is a sentence. Sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. Until or unless there is a full stop, we cannot call the sentence. Like if it is a phrase, then it can be incomplete, like in the garden, in the market, like of the break of the teacher, or something like used with a preposition, and then there is a phrase. So phrase means incomplete statement or incomplete group of words. But sentence or the clause means like complete sense. And the clause, what is the difference between the sentence and the clause? Sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. Clause is a group of words that make complete sense and has a subject and a predicate. Basically, we should remember that the subject and the predicate is present in the clause. So clause and sentence, there is a difference. Let me tell you, like if I say get out, if I say get in, we don't use the subject over there, but still it is a sentence. But when we say you get out, I use the subject and the predicate. Get out. So get out, there is a difference. That means to say that to remember that one on a superficial level or on the basic level, you can remember that one. Like something which carries a subject and the predicate will be called as a clause, and something which doesn't carry the subject and the predicate but still has a meaning, full meaning, and has a full stop after that, then definitely it's a sentence. It's a, like it depends upon the kind of sign that is used after the whole combination. what kind of sentence is it. Like if there's a question mark after that one, then that will be an interrogative sentence. If there is a full stop, then it will be assertive or the declarative sentence. So if there is exclamation sign, then it'll be called as exclamatory sentence. It depends upon the kind of sentence that we are talking about and what kind of statement is written over there. So a prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and ends with a noun or a pronoun, and that is called a object of the preposition. So that is also to be known. In the evening, if I say, that's one example I will take. In the evening, the whole stuff is known as a prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase. Why we call it a prepositional phrase? Because its head word is a preposition, and the whole combination, it doesn't make sense until or unless it is used in the full sentence. So that is why it is a phrase. So why it is a prepositional phrase? Because it is a head word, its head word is preposition, and the rest of the statement is along with that, and it doesn't make complete sense until or unless it is used with the like in a sentence. That is why it will be a phrase. So altogether it will be a prepositional phrase. But this particular word which comes after this preposition will be called the object of the preposition. So because it is coming after the preposition, that is why it will be called as a, the evening as a word would be called as the object of the preposition. Object is something which comes at the last, or usually we say that object is something which we work on, like subject works on. But the thing is, you should remember it like um not in detail or something, because I guess so like it'll be very complex for you to understand. But object of the preposition stands for, like, if the word that comes after the preposition, that means the rest of the thing, the noun or the pronoun whatsoever comes after this one, would be called as the object of the preposition, because preposition is the head word here. So object of the preposition would be noun or the pronoun, whatsoever it is. So a prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and ends with the noun or the pronoun called the object of the preposition. Note that you can have adjectives, adverbs in the preposition phrases, but no verbs. Remember that one. No to verbs. So if there is any verb, that can never be in the prepositional phrase. Because always action verbs or the helping verbs will come before that, will come always before that. So it is not possible that uh, like if the preposition is coming in the beginning, then obviously the verb will come after the subject. Verb will always come after the subject or before the subject, depends upon the kind of sentence. If it is interrogative sentence, the helping verb will come first and the subject will come later. But yeah, it depends how do we say it. Like for example, we'll frame something. Just a second, give me a second. Hmm. Yeah, here it is. I'm going in, whatever it is, whatever it is. I'm going in the room, in the room. Okay. I'm going in the class. So object of the preposition can be any, depending upon what do you want to say. Whether you're going to the room, then definitely you will place room. When you will say class, class, so it depends upon where you're going. Okay. Or you can say that any certain direction, like there is no noun or pronoun, but direction is also a noun. So definitely something which is ending with tion, we know that. So I am going in the wrong direction. I'm going in the wrong direction. Okay. So what did I say? Like earlier I said that there can be adjective. So wrong direction. Wrong is adjective that came after preposition. But there can never be a verb. That's what it means to say. So same way other examples, they are going to go inside the auditorium. They're going to go inside the cave. They are going to go inside the hall. They are going to go inside the restroom or whatever. whatever it is. So it depends upon what you want to say. That throw the ball over his head, over his head. So now we will say that situation like which position, prepositions of position like horizontal, vertical, like in which way we are talking about. So depending upon that, there would be categories of the prepositions. Same way, the prepositions that consist of more than one word are called compound preposition. We know the word compound in science as well. Like obviously, when the two elements get mixed together, then we make. Oh, that's actually a mixture. But the thing is, compound. We know that when elements are combining together, in the compounding is itself means joining together. So like when two prepositions are joined together and they have some meaning together, then according to, that means according to somebody. So according to, by means of, in place of, on account of, aside from, or beside this, or something like that, because of, in front of, instead of, prior to, all of them are combined together. The two prepositions are used together. Instead is a preposition, of is a preposition, used together, it made something else as a meaning. So their meanings will also be different. So we can't say that instead is equal to instead of. So prior to is not equal to prior only. So it depends upon what do you want to say. Okay, give me a second. Mhm. Sometimes. Mhm. Share it. Okay, I've shared it on WhatsApp, not on anything else. Okay. I copied the link, but it didn't go well. Yeah, this one. Share, copy the link. My main idea is to make the video and use it later on for the teaching purpose, so that they may, like the people who are joining my club or joining my classes, they can actually get some benefit, and we can discuss the things which are not clear to them. Or sometimes I know that I try to leave the things in between so that questions will be arise. So people will ask me questions. Just really I'm interested in to create queries so that people will ask questions. Now, thereafter, you see, underline the prepositional phrases in the following sentences, circle the preposition. So, shippers in the Midwest have always looked longingly towards the Atlantic Ocean. The Great Lakes have always had a large amount of traffic. Large steamers sailed fairly easily from Duluth to Detroit. A major problem has been linkage of this traffic on the lakes with the ports of the east coast Europe. So we have seen lots of prepositions inside, and then we are trying to underline the prepositional phrases. Let's start with the first one. Here you see in the Midwest. Then we have towards the Atlantic Ocean. Then in the Great Lakes have always had a large amount of traffic. We got large steamers sail fairly easily from Duluth to Detroit. Okay. A major problem has been the linkage of this traffic on the lakes with the ports of the East Coast and Europe. So that's how it is. We got lots of preposition phrases in the sentence, and we have to circle the preposition as well. So circle the preposition. So whatsoever head words are there, we have to circle them. So yeah, and then thereafter this, yeah, that's it. So that's how the prepositions are. That's how the preposition phrases are. If I'll add up to your exercise, what can I do is um, you have to double line up, or you can make a box around the object of the preposition. So you have to make the object of the preposition, the box around the object of the preposition. Midwest, Atlantic Ocean. So that's how it is. I'm giving you one clue, then rest is up to you. So you, for your practice, you can do that one. And I'm preparing this for the students who are going to join. That yeah, this is your exercise. You have to find out the object of the preposition in that. All right. Object of preposition. Right now, what we did is like we understood the what is preposition and how it is used. We got the practice for this one. Underline the preposition phrase in each sentence. Circle the preposition. Remember, the compound prepositions have two or more words. I told you about the compound prepositions. When the two prepositions are joined together, then they make a different meaning. We are trying to just understand what does it stand for. We are not talking about the meaning of the preposition. We are not talking about where to use them. We are talking simply about like where the prepositions are. That's very simple one. We have done that. We have understood the concept. Preposition is a word which shows a relationship between the noun or the pronoun and other words in the sentence. And the noun and pronoun will be placed after this preposition. Let me tell you, usually it is placed after the preposition. But remember that one. It can be in some rare cases, it can be placed on the beginning of the sentence. Okay. On whose advice, for example, on whose advice have you joined that company? On whose advice have you joined his company? Or on whose advice have you started eating sugar that much? Something like that. So a quote is simply a cover for a bed. So depending upon like whatever exercises statement says or the question statement says, we have to do the same stuff you follow in your reading examination, listening examination, whatsoever is your guideline. Always read that guideline. Like I told you that in Splitsvilla, in some kind of games that I watched in my childhood, there was something like very important one. Like if you will read the question carefully, you will be answering the answers rightly. If you don't know the direction for the question, you won't be answering the questions rightly. So a quilt is simply a cover for a bed. When we say that, then we are not making a meaning out of it any way possible. Let me tell you, that's what I'm trying to tell you also. When we are reading something, sometimes we don't know the meaning of a word, but we try to make the meaning of the whole statement. That is known as the contextual meaning that we create on our own by the way of actually understanding by our intuition, we can say, or by the way we can make a meaning out of it because of the previous learning that we had. Depends upon whatever we do. So, or whatever we did in the past. So, based upon that one, you have to do this exercise. Let me tell you that I'm not gonna do it for you because you can take the screenshot for it and then thereafter you can do the stuff on your own. More of the same, but please do not when commas are used when they're not. So depending upon that, you have to see that thing, like how the prepositions are returned and the way the prepositions are. And we'll talk about that, like where the prepositions. You see, they have started the conjunction now. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. What I will do is I will add a link after this particular time period in my live session, um, which will give you the information about the prepositions, basically where to use and what kinds of the prepositions are there. I will add up a link to that. Don't worry about that. Okay. After the live session is going to be ended, I'll be doing that thing. Let me check the timing because I need to get ready for my work as well. It's raining outside. It's raining. It's raining. Okay. I think you must be hearing the sound. Yeah. Cracking bones. Now, the thing is, you have to underline the preposition phrase in each sentence. I'll do first five for you, and rest you will do on your own. Okay? Mm, more of the same, but please not when commas are used and when they are not. Okay? You have to see that. Woodworking means forming wood into the useful or the beautiful things, into useful and beautiful things. Note will come here. When commas are used and when they are not. But please note here, note as this note, okay, not the other note. I was thinking that why they are saying this way. So when the commas are used and when the commas are not used, so you have to see the thing, okay. Mm-hmm. And we basically know that when we use commas, when we are trying to sequence things in the same way. So when we're talking about one thing, for measuring and cutting, you need ruler. So for this particular activity, you need the rulers, you need the framing squares, you need the scissors. So that's how, like for one activity, when you require multiple things and multiple items, and to sequence those items, you need to use the commas. So commas are the short pauses. Like for example, if I am speaking and I take a pause, a little pause, a small pause, then it'll be a comma. If I'll take a little longer pause, then it'll be a semicolon. If it'll be a big pause that I'm taking after every sentence, which you cannot measure, then it'll be a full stop. It'll be a period, what we say in grammar. So it depends upon that. But too many, like the way the commas are written, so we need to speak it accordingly. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that whenever we want to improve our speaking, we can improve our speaking in the same way. Like for example, if the commas are written, we need to put a pause over there when we are speaking. We should not speak like, but to many children, women and children, it has a deeper significance. But to many women and children, it has a deeper significance. So you can see that I'm taking pauses wherever the commas are. So you should remember this thing, and you should understand this thing, that whenever we are putting a pause somewhere, we need to put a comma over there. We need to put a space over there, or wide space has to be there in your sound as well. Like when you speak, you need to put a pause. Like in colonial America, if I say in colonial America, women often sued. So then I have misled people by putting a comma over there. Okay, if I have put a comma over there, then definitely there has to be a pause in between. And if I'm not putting a pause, I'm wrong somewhere. I hope so you have understood. So these quilting parties were a chance for much needed socialization, for much needed socialization. So you should know that where the preposition is, and you have to underline the preposition phrase. Much needed socialization. Socialization is at the object, that's the object of the preposition. It is what it is, let me tell you. Like when you understand this particular concept, preposition, half of the thing is done. I told you that I'll attach a particular link with this, and you have to click on that link to understand the whole other concept of the preposition, so that you may get to know, because I think that video, that live session is for around 2 hours. You will be able to enhance your prepositional knowledge, or based on like what I have done in that video. Let me tell you why I don't want to do it now, because it will take a long time. But right now, that after some time I have to make my way to my workplace. But before that one, what I can tell you is what I have done in that. I'll give you one basic example. Like if I say I have to talk about preposition in, I have explained that what exactly in means. Like if I say in, if I say into, what's the difference between in and into? What's the difference between and among? I have explained about all of them. What's the difference between towards and to? And what's the difference between lots of combination? I have explained in that link. I'll definitely uh, link up this particular live session with the other live session, that is a preposition. So it'll show up to your screen like in the end, or maybe in the beginning. I'll just link up that one, or I'll add up that link to my description as well. Okay, so that you may not find it difficult to find it out, like where you can go and understand preposition more. Okay. For now, I would say that this much is enough for today. And we talked about the definition of the preposition. We talked about the prepositional phrase. We talked about the prepositional object, like object of the preposition. We talked about like how to do the exercises related to that one. I hope so that you have taken the screenshots for the same as well. Otherwise, more than 20 sentences would be enough. Like not more than 20 sentences, you should do at least, not more than 20, like not less than 20. Sorry, I need to say that. So not less than 20. Now, after knowing the preposition, the next concept definitely is going to be conjunction. And once a conjunction is done, basically your whole stuff is done for the basics. Then we will move up to that how to frame the sentences, and how actually we have to link up the things, and how we need to answer things. Because basically that the people who really want to actually improve themselves, they they like to know this stuff, that actually what to speak and when to speak, and what exactly has to be spoken to give an answer. How to frame an answer is the basic thing that everybody, you should not copy it from the different pages that are given up there. Like you can use them as an example, but you cannot use them for your life. Your life is totally different from the other. Okay. Five fingers are not the same. Individual difference concept. Everybody know that, like everybody's life is different. So definitely things can be similar, but things can never be identical. Like it can never be identical as same as that of others. So if that is there, then definitely the you know imaginative world can come into being in reality. The fact of the matter is, you should know that how to frame a sentence, and what exactly uh, is the way that I need to see it in a question, like whatsoever is spoken. Then how we need to answer that question, we should know that, and how to what extent I need to answer my question, and what else has to be added to that. That has to be known to me. It should not be, if I say I'm answering the question and I don't know about it, like whatsoever is in the question, I'm trying to blabber more of that, more of my own stuff, more of my own content, which is not required. So this concept we're gonna do tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Whensoever I'll be intimating you beforehand, I'll be intimating you 5 minutes before, the way I did it. Like whatever time I'm getting, I'm trying to put it into use, so that you may get some benefit. We all should get some benefit. And I would always love your comments and suggestions for like improvement of my channel. um, Even if this channel goes far beyond the limits, then definitely I would still prefer to have your comments and suggestions, because without having the criticism, positive, negative, whatsoever it is, without having the criticism, I cannot analyze where I am. The people who are your critics will be your best friends. The people who are against you, or You think they are against you, but they are not. They sometimes they become actually the valuable stuff or valuable asset to your growth. So make sure that one be a growth asset for somebody's life. So contact, connect, and grow more. Thank you very much. Have a good night. From my end, good night. And from your end, good morning. Bye bye. Just a second. Mhm. Stop share. Take care. Stop share and